From this trailer, he brought for Aggie around. He said I could take her down there. Fucking 30 men. See? Look at this. Fucking straight again. Coming on now. Look at him. He's getting her now. Fucking 30 again, come on.
Welcome down as well. We're in a turnaround now. Turn around. On the reverse. 751. Peyton Bill Shatter. Kristen Guffey is the honor rider. And 108 at the Diamond Power St. James Pullen Jr. is riding for Danny and Annie Keith, Lafayette, Tennessee. 451 Choice Cut Plays. Claudine Jenkins, owner rider. Out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. 113. Howard All Night July. Kendra Lynch in the irons tonight for Rex Clemens, Monterey. 460 the Stretch Pride. Lenny Key, owner rider. Cross in the irons for Danny and Annie Keith, Lafayette, Tennessee. 344 Saints First Son. That's Jason Todd. Jason Todd is the rider and the owner, and from Bethpage, Tennessee. All right, now let's show them, if you will, please, in the slow rack. Slow rack. 220 Pure Delight Strike, April Todd, owner rider, Bethpage, Tennessee. 77 Cut to the Bone, Gary Bowman for Triple B Staples, Monterey. And number 224, that's Ed Henry, the owner rider of Generator St. Patrick. Ken Andrews.
I don't know. Hey, Sarah Kate.
Give it Bubba. You reach down and give it Bubba. Oh, no. No. Did you get horsepower in your mouth? Yay!
Yay!
Style ranking class, ready for the awards, and first place the trophy waits if you'll right across entry number 220. The owner and the rider. We have 107 Willie Reed, 77 Gary Bowman, 77A Randall Phillips, 155 Melanie Beckwith, 707 Bruce Devine, 442 is Buddy Bartlett, Evan Bradley, 159. Right, 491, that's Carolyn Gurr. 597, Danielle Johnson. 24 is Vic Gurr. If you notice that your name is not called, that if you when you line up, let the judge know that you're one of those who don't have the name on the entry sheet.
The Daytona 500, how it's evolved, really has
have number 119, Jack, with Haley Julian, and Lori Puckett is also the trainer, and Haley and Callie Julian own Jack.
Number 160 is Red October. Chase Chaffin is the rider. Ralph Chaffin is the trainer. Margaret Chaffin and Cookville is the owner.
Number 161 is Miss Maddie, and Code Jefferson Apple is the rider, and owned by Stephanie Price.
And our last entry we have here is number 122, E.T.'s First Lady. Maggie Crane is the rider. Bob and Donna York of Cookville are the owners. So let's just really enjoy these youngsters on these.
Well, as you look out there, you see a lot of mothers and daddies and grandparents. And some of these are so small, they even have two people walking with them.
They do. It amazes me how, and some of these youngsters that you see out here, now they're going to be here 10 years from now showing in the juvenile classes or even younger, and they just continue to ride and enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, my husband was leading our grandson, and it came up a thunderstorm. I don't know if you remember that or not, and there was lightning popping around everywhere. And the children didn't care a bit. It was the adults that had a problem with that. But the children were just enjoying walking around the ring and So we were all so frightened, but they had a great time.
But isn't that what's so wonderful about being young is you don't have the fear. As you get older, you certainly know that, first of all, you can fall off a horse, and when you do, it hurts. When you're younger, you're fearless. You know.
And here we come with Hard Feelings, the black horse right there.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that silver.
With his aunt and his father there with him. And then, let's see. They're having a really good time. One thing about having horses, it's such a wonderful family sport.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Many generations can enjoy that. And you see these people out here and know that their fathers and grandfathers before them have had horses and have been here at the Putnam County Fair. So that's a great generation builder there where people can come together.
I remember that from interviewing some of the winners last year. You know, they were like their horse it stayed at their grandfather's barn or something, and they trained them, and then their parents would bring them out here to show in the classes. Right. It really is a wonderful family event.
And as you see the lineup of horses here too, you see all sizes from the least little pony to the big 16 hands high horse, and of course we'll talk how tall that is in another class. But you do see all sizes, all shapes, all colors, and just a lot of proud parents.
And the time that it takes you all to come out here and show these animals. I haven't shown a lot, but I used to show a little bit. And I'm telling you, they started this morning getting these horses ready.
Absolutely. Well, they started before that because, buying a horse is just the first investment. Then you have to have the saddle and the bridle and then the outfit to wear, and it just kind of goes on and on from there. Then you have to have a truck and a trailer to bring them to the shows. And so you have to think of all this many, many days or months or years in advance. And so it all culminates when you go to the horse show.
Okay, we're going to turn this over to Drew, and he'll be calling out
Everybody out here.
I think everybody gets a ribbon in this class. We don't have a blue, do we?
Gets a trophy, a dollar bill, and a water bottle. And right now is your chance to show all of these exhibitors and riders a big round of applause. Thank you, riders and exhibitors, for coming out to the Putnam County Fair.
So they have all of that to take home and put up on a little shelf in their room and remember coming to the 2005 Putnam County Fair. Well, after some of the sweltering heat that we've had in the past few weeks, it is a very pleasant evening, to say the least. They do that at the county show. Walking horses have so many classes, the way they're broken down by age groups and by the type of rider. You know, you can be a professional rider, someone that trains walking horses, or you could be an amateur. And so the horse classes are divided that way, as well as by age of the animal. So by the time you get all of that divided up, there's just not enough time to do the different, some of the other classes. But we are going to enjoy those on Thursday night for the county show. Well, the first time that I ever showed a horse was here in this ring, and I think I was 16, and I won fourth in some class on that Thursday night show, and you would have thought that I had won the celebration.
Oh, sure.
Because for me, you know, that was my first experience, and I'll never forget that. Because
Okay,
it was
now
just,
how old were you, Martha?
I was 16.
So you were 16.
I
I'm
was
sorry, I missed
16.
that.
I
Okay.
was 16.
Because you started
And I
riding
won't-
before 16.
And oh, I did. My daddy bought me a horse when I was 6, and Dan. And in fact, I think you may have been. I know your sister Adrian. Adrian would come in and we would ride together. And I don't know if you were ever out there or not. Of course, you're so much younger than Adrian and
I'm
I.
knocking on your heels. Well, and I'm going to tell a story. Our first horse that we had, we actually lived in Park Village. Now we had no pasture. We didn't know anything
Right.
about horses.
I remember it well.
And we tied up buttermilk in the lower part of the yard, and the neighbors would just call us and tell us when she got loose, and we'd just go and get her and bring her back home. Now this was a few years ago, so things weren't the same, but I can absolutely remember my sister Adrian riding down 10th Street from Fisk Road to your house.
Well, now back in those days, you could do that.
Yeah.
And I would ride from where I live at White Plains and ride all the way up to Brotherton Mountain, all the way up there. And, you know, maybe 1 or 2 cars might pass.
Oh,
and,
my
you
goodness.
know, nowadays, the very idea of letting a child, and I was a child at that time, or a teenager, ride up there by themselves is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So things have changed in the last
They
few
sure have.
years. Few
I
years.
don't think I would be riding up 10th Street.
No, not 10th
Yeah, I
Street
don't
or
think
Buck
so.
Mountain Road, either one, you know. But those were fun memories.
But
Yeah.
did you, when you were, I know you grew up with horses. I don't know if you had several, if you had one or what, but was it always a passion with you? It wasn't with me. We just kind of like had a horse, and then when I became an adult, it became, I mean, I can't even explain it. If you get horses in your blood, it doesn't go away.
Well, I think it's some sort of disease, actually, and there's usually not a cure for it. Right? But we're getting ready for the performance horses now, the 2-year-old walking, and it's an open class,
Which means what?
Which means both amateurs and professionals could be entered in this class. Usually, it's more professionals. The fact that it says 2-year-old, it doesn't say mare or stallion or gelding, means that that all 3 also could show in this class as well.
Okay, we only have 3 entries.
We have 3
in this
entries.
class.
Okay.
We have number 566 is Delight's perfect score. Chris, is that Lack?
I believe it is.
Chris Lack is the rider for DNR Stables, and Rick Clenderson from Spencer, Tennessee, is the owner.
I believe that's Clendendon.
Clendendon, thank you.
From Spencer.
Okay.
And then we have number 162, who's Sweep Sir William, and Scott Beatty of Birdstown is the rider. The trainer is Joey Claiborne, also of Birdstown, and it's he's owned by Franklin Beatty, who is Scott's father from Birdstown.
Oh, okay. And I do know that name, Scott Beatty. He's is that him right
That
there?
is he
Okay,
right
there's
there.
Scott Beatty. And then the last entry is 158. The
Harvey, let's see, Magician maybe? I'm not sure.
It's Magician or Machine or something like that. Sorry that
Machine,
we can't
it may
read
be.
the writing.
Sometimes I can't read my own, so.
Harvey Rodriguez is the rider and trainer from Shelbyville. Tommy and Nancy Mills
of Eads,
are the
Tennessee, are the
Eads,
owners.
Tennessee.
And this is one of the horses that have come to Cookeville from the Shelbyville area. So we're pleased. And
Is that the one we're talking about?
That's the
here?
one
Okay.
right there. Now let's see. No, that is here's Scott Beatty from Birdstown. And you also see that the head shake that goes along with that. You know, it's a saying in the walking horse world that if they're not shaking their heads, they're not walking, and that's very true.
Right.
And here we have Delight's perfect score. That's Chris Lack.
Okay. What color is that? A gray? Would you call it a gray?
Well, I would
with
call it a black roan.
Okay.
And he had a big blaze face. That's very popular, you know. And here's the Rodriguez from Shelbyville, owned by the Mills family.
Well, it just amazes me that a 2-year-old can do what these horses are doing.
Well, absolutely. And of course, they start them actually before they become 2 years old, usually after the celebration, which is the last of August, 1st of September. The big sales for 2-year-olds go on then. And they go to a trainer in most cases, and then they're started, their training at that time. They're broke to ride. And of course, not too much heavy work at that young age, but by springtime they're working, and then by this time of year they're legged up, as we say. They have the ability to do this, because they are athletes. It's a strenuous thing to do, but that's what they're bred to do. And we do have 3 different wonderful colors out here to look at. Of course, just a few years ago, all the horses that you would see would be black, and you would just and now you see a lot of horses with the flaxen mane and tails that are sorrel or chestnut color, brown, you could say, or reddish brown. And now you're seeing a lot of the black roans or gray roans with the ball faces, the white faces, and a lot of chrome, we call it, a lot of white. And I just think they're wonderful. I just love that. And I know in some of the other classes we'll have tonight, we're going to see some other colors that I think the public will be interested in seeing, that they may not have seen in horses before, because they are kind of new to the walking horse world.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I just like them, like the chrome, as you say. I just like color. I have, mine is a flea bitten gray, the horse that I have. And I guess really it's just there have been so many black horses over the years, and like you said, that was all you saw, and it just I really enjoyed seeing very slowly the other colors come into the ring. I mean, very slowly. It was almost like well, I don't want to say not accepted, but it was very...
Well, it was, you know, in some cases, if they weren't black, they didn't get tied, and especially in the World's Championship, you know, they were almost all black. But that's changed. Pride's Generator that came along, well, now I guess 20 years ago or so, was a beautiful, almost palomino colored with a flaxen mane and tail, or white mane and tail. And his offspring, many were the same way. And, you know, that really kind of broke that color barrier. And then you have some of the other horses that have really come in, the pusher horses, pusher line of horses, have a lot of white on them as well. So it's fun to see all the different colors.
Yeah. And it is interesting how you can spot, especially like a pusher horse. I don't know a lot of the breeds or the, you know, the sires and so forth, but, you know, pusher, yes.
Well, as you notice, this one with all the white on it, it's Delight's Perfect Score. Well, I don't know for sure, but I would say that his father is probably Pusher's Big Score.
Oh, okay.
Now, he was a black horse, but he sires a lot that does have some white on it. And now with Silver Dollar is breeding a lot of horses this way, with a lot of color on them. So that has really changed over the last 10 years or so.
And I think all of us really, really enjoy all the colors. We are going to be talking to you a little bit later, maybe when we get one of the larger classes with some different colors in there. We're going to be talking about actually what a bay is, and a sorrel and so forth.
Right. Well, the card looks like the judge has made his decision, and the card has come back to our Drew Huffines that's going to tell our winners here in a moment. And, of course, any of us that have horses know that we don't really come for the money, but...
Here we go. Let's turn it over to Drew.
Pleasure specialty class. You'll be coming to the ring next. Ready to present awards now in this class number 2. And you're going to ride in for the first place and the trophy. We're doing it in the center of the ring this time, so you'll ride across the ring. And that first place award, first place goes to number 162, right across the ring. Sweeps Sir William Scott Beatty in the saddle tonight. Entry on by Franklin Beatty, Birdstown, Tennessee. First place across and around the tent All other awards will be presented on the near side of the tent. If you will, please second, you'll ride in. Entry number 158. That's the Magician. Harvey Rodriguez riding to second for Tommy and Nancy Mills of Eads, Tennessee. The Magician second in the class. Third award. Right over to get your award, number 566, Delight's Perfect Score. Chris Lack aboard for the Rick Clendenin family, Spencer, Tennessee. Let's give all of these riders that great big round of applause now, and that will complete class number 2.
Horses in it, but they had good horses.
Oh, they sure did.
And so, you know, it's always amazing, like you said, that these animals are only 2 years old and they can be doing all this. And of course, next year we hope to be stronger and can do even more.
And you know, we were talking about the time that it takes to bring the horses down here and show. The time to train them is unbelievable, and to get them in shape and to teach them these, you know, the different gaits that they do in the ring. And I mean, it's...
Well, we'll try to talk a little bit about the gaits of walking horses and quarter horses too, for that matter. And of course, we're not going to try to do a dissertation on it, but you know, it's basically there's 3 gaits that the walking horses do, and we'll try to now you see another type of horse here, the light shod pleasure specialty class, and I think there's a lot in this class as well. Alrighty, now you see this is a different type of horse here, the pleasure horse. These are more of the type of horse that you might have in your backyard. In fact, we have them in our backyard and are able to train them ourselves in most cases. And this is the type of horse that about 90% of the people that own walking horses own pleasure horses. That's what we call this. And of course, these are light shod horses, and that means that their shoe is light. It's not as heavy as you'll see later on.
Yeah, these classes are so popular because they can go trail riding or whatever. These are kind of what I call the backyard type horses.
Well, they're very versatile. You can bring them to the show ring on Saturday night and show them like these people are doing. And some of these are ridden by trainers here, but amateurs can also train their horses and have them in the backyards. They can go on trail rides and then bring them to the show. And tonight we have whom?
We have entry number 111, Champagne
Watch Out.
Okay, the rider is Jenny Jackson. Does that sound right? The trainer is Jenny Jackson. And I'm sorry, I just can't read the owner, but they're from Cookville. It is a Jackson. It looks like
it's Walking On Ranch. They live in the edge of Overton County. Then we have number 88, There She Goes. Mark Johnson is the rider and the trainer and the owner of Cookville, Tennessee.
Okay, number 89 is Compact Impact. I like that. Rider is Lonnie Kewen. Lonnie Kewen's also the trainer, and Neil Earl from Bloomingdale, Indiana is the owner.
Right. And then we have number 155, Armed Lawman. Melanie Beckwith is the rider. Herb Ball is the trainer and the owner.
Okay. 108 is Ultra Copies Satin Lady. Doug Barnes is the rider and owner. I'm sorry, the rider and trainer. Rick and Marla Lorett from Mobile, Alabama is the owner.
Right. We have 107, Midnight Firewalker. Mary Schote is the rider and the owner, and also the trainer.
Okay, we are having a hard time reading this, everybody. If we're hesitating on these names, it's because we can't read them.
True. And we went to school and everything, but it's hard to read someone else's writing sometimes.
707 is Fulmer. Rooster Bean is the rider. We know that name. Bean Stables of Cookville's a trainer. Bean and Farr, Cookville are the owners.
And then 751, it's Bailey's Midnight Image. Quentin Guffey is the rider and the trainer, and it's owned by Darlene Loftus of Cookville.
And the last one here is entry number 113, Red October, Dwayne Chaffin rider, Ralph Chaffin is the trainer, and Margaret Chaffin is the owner.
Right.
Now, this color, this is a buckskin, everybody.
No, that's not. Now,
Is that the champagne?
That's the champagne colored horse.
Good.
And his name is Champagne. Watch out. Originally from California, these people have moved in here from California, and the champagne-colored horse is fairly new. This is Doug Barnes here from Shelbyville area, and their owners are from, the owner of that horse is in Alabama, I believe.
Now, what is the difference between a champagne and a buckskin? Do you know off the top of your head, or?
Well, the champagne horses have a pink color to their skin. Their eyes are pink, and they don't have as dark a points as the buckskins or the duns might. They call it a dilution gene, and it's separate from the gene that creates the palominas or the buckskin. It's a group of colors that consists of pale colors with underlying pink or light brown skin and amber eyes. Many champagnes are born with blue eyes, and they darken later on. The body color ranges from chocolate brown to yellow, with manes and tails that vary broadly in color. And there you see Rooster Bean in the center there. The spotted horse is Dwayne Chaffin riding. Alrighty, and we see a red sorrel horse here.
Oh.
So we do have a combination of trainers and amateurs in this class. There's Rooster Bean on his horse.
Let's see.
That's Fulmer. I bet he must be a UT fan.
You think?
Here's Lonnie Kewen. And Lonnie is also a trainer that has come into this area in the last couple of years, originally from the Shelbyville area, and she trains pleasure horses. There's Melanie Beckwith.
Now, I've seen that lady a lot.
Oh,
she must have shown for a long time.
Well, she is a native Putnam Countyan and is always here at the Putnam County Fair, so we're glad to see Melanie.
And nice, bright-colored coat.
Absolutely. It's really fun to see. You know, there again, we ladies love fashion, so we go out and try to find something that coordinates with the horse. And of course, if you have different color horses, you may need to have different color outfits as well. So it's always fun to go shopping for new clothes, whether it's to ride or just to go to the horse show.
Do they? I haven't really noticed if they still do a lot of the ribbons and everything in the manes in some of the classes. I see a few of them out here, but
these horses are all being shown English style, English saddle seat, and in doing that, they use a English type saddle, and they use the long coats. And they do put ribbons in their hair, and of course that's decoration, but it adds a little bit of color, and usually they're coordinated with the coat of the rider. You see Melanie here, and she has the colors that all match. So there again, it just takes a lot of preparation to get these horses ready, and whether it's a performance horse or a pleasure horse, it still takes a lot of time in the saddle. Especially with pleasure horses, it takes a lot of time in the saddle because with performance horses, you can ride them about an average, I think, of 20 minutes a day is what the average performance horse is worked, whereas these may take an hour or more to work.
Now, why is that?
Well, they're not doing as much physically as a performance horse does, and so it takes them a little longer to wear down. And of course, it takes hours in the saddle to get them to this point that they're in the ring. But as I say, about 90% of walking horses are really backyard horses. They're not used as performance horses, and of course so many people think of walking horses and only think of performance horses, and we love to see those, and they're beautiful, beautiful animals. But the market is really going to the pleasure horses, and people outside of Tennessee that want a gaited horse that has the most comfortable ride of any type of horse. They really look for the walking horses, even in and here we go.
We'll turn this over to Drew and let him tell us the winners.
Number 3. You're going to ride over to get your first place award. If you will, please. 108 rides up to get that first place award. That's Doug Barnes riding for Rick and Marla Levitt of Mobile, Alabama. Ultras Copy Satin Lady. 108 is first. Your second place award, right across, if you will, 111 Champagne. Watch Out. Jenny Jackson riding for Walking On Ranch. Nathaniel and Jenny Jackson Cookville owns this entry, and it's Champagne Watch Out. 111 is second. I'm sorry, I should have reminded you, we're presenting awards out in the center of the ring now. In the center of the ring, you'll get your awards. And your third place award, third, right over to get your award, 155 Armed Lawman Melanie Beckwith in the saddle tonight for Herb Ball Cookville. Armed Lawman 155 is third. That fourth award goes to 707 Fulmer Rooster Bean riding. Fulmer is owned by Bean and Farr Cookville. Out of Bean Stables Cookville, Fulmer's is 707 is fourth. And the fifth award to 89 Compact Impact. Lonnie Kewen is the rider riding for Neil Earl, Bloomington, Indiana. Compact Impact, fifth in the class. All of these riders deserve a big round of applause now from the spectators, if you will. Let's let them hear from you.
That was a really good class. You see a lot of different styles of pleasure horses in that class. So that makes it very interesting. Okay, number 1 was Doug Barnes on Ultra Copy Satin Lady. Then Jenny Jackson was second on Champagne Watch Out. Third was Melanie Beckwith on Armed Lawman. Rooster Bean rode Fulmer to fourth, and Lonnie Kewen was number 5 with Compact Impact.
That was a good class, and all that champagne, just beautiful.
It's a very interesting color.
And it is very close to the buckskin.
It is.
It's very close. Like I think the points aren't as dark, the black points on the horse. But I've seen so few champagnes because, like we said, it is a new color.
Well, the foals are usually born dark and get lighter after they shed their coat, and champagne is actually a dominant gene, so his foals should, a large percentage of them should be champagne in color. And as I said, there's different colors of champagne too. Some of them are really light color, and they change color just like a buckskin does during the year. Sometimes in part of the year they're an entirely different color than other. Okay, now what are we seeing here?
I did want to mention we have again we have 2 quarter horse classes tonight. Class number 6 is Open Western Pleasure Quarter Horse, and class number 10 is Youth Western Pleasure Quarter Horse. We'll have a lady coming over here and hosting that. I haven't met this lady before.
Oh, Gina Leslie, yes.
Okay,
yes.
You know, she's going to be over here, and one of us, or we might have someone else sit here with her. And,
right. Gina has worked with quarter horses for many years, and in fact she was the coach for I believe it was Hiawassee College and at UT possibly, and I may be wrong about that, but she has been the coach for the equestrian teams at those universities.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's great. Okay, what have we got, class number 4?
We have the 2-year-old amateur class in the ring now, and number
Amateur walking, that is.
Amateur
2-year-old
walking.
amateur walking.
Yes, so there aren't any trainers in this class. And number 518 is Obsession with Jacqueline Smith. The trainer is Chuck Witherspoon, and Jacqueline Smith of Black Hawk Farms in Shelbyville is the owner.
Number 163, Ritz's Faith. The rider is Kim Curtis, trainer Joey Claiborne, and the owner is Franklin Beatty in Birdstown.
And then number 124 is She's Built Tough. Ronnie Spears is the rider and the trainer, and the owner is, well, I don't know. I don't know, but they're from Bedford County.
We're sorry that we just don't know who the owner is. But anyway, so we just have 3 in this class. And again, the amateur means it is not a professional trainer.
Right. Now, this is Jacqueline Smith from Black Hawk Farms. She owns Black Hawk Farms in, no, let's see. That is not she. I'm sorry. This must be Kim Curtis.
163, that's who it is. It's Kim Curtis.
Right.
Now, I guess you would call that a flaxen mane and tail, wouldn't you?
You would be, or a mixed mane and tail.
The tail looks a little mixed.
There's Jacqueline Smith.
Okay.
Obsession is a good name.
Yeah.
And you know that again, the horse people, we are obsessed. It's a failing. It must be a character flaw.
Well, I was talking to somebody just a week or 2 ago about. I said, oh no, you just have to. Well, you've got to have a place for your horse and so forth. And then I started adding up everything that I have in order to have my horse. And I'm telling you, you've got to have the trailer that's going to take you somewhere. And I trail ride. I trail ride in camp. So I have my trailer set up in the front where, with air conditioning and sleep and water and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So you've got to have, and let me just tell you all, trailers are not cheap. I can tell you that. And then you got to have a big enough truck to pull it, you know. And then you've got to have land in order that your horse can be on pasture.
But it's all worth it. You know, it is all worth it because it is such a great hobby that people from all ages, you saw those children that could barely stand riding a few minutes ago, and then you see these people that are in their 80s and are still showing.
Yes.
So it is something that you can do all your life.
It is, and I have often said to my friends, I've got a core group of girls that I ride with a lot, and all of us are like this. As long as we can pull ourselves up in the saddle, we're going to be riding.
Right, exactly.
Well,
now you see Obsession here, and he's really doing that 4-beat gait that the walking horses are known for and are supposed to be doing, and he's shaking his head in rhythm as he lifts those front feet. That's the type of thing you're looking for.
And when you say 4-beat gait,
Well, actually, what happens is, you know, you have trotters that when they move, they're on the diagonals. Say their left front foot and their right back foot are more on the ground at the same time, and they're trotting. Whereas a pacer, both legs of the same side of the horse move at the same time.
Right.
Well, a walking horse is a mixture of those. You know, they're been bred over the years. In fact, they really started being bred during the war between the states. The southern plantation pacers got mixed up with the northern trotters, and that started the combination of those two and has led to what we see today. So it's a combination of a pace and a trot, and we have a horse that we feel like is the most comfortable ride. A trot is a wonderful ride if you don't mind posting, but for comfort, you can't beat a Tennessee walking horse.
No, and there are other smooth gaited breeds. You know, usually when, if anyone talks about a gaited horse, and some people are confused about this because all horses have gaits, but I don't know how the term gaited actually stuck with meaning smooth.
Right.
But they mean smooth.
Well, the Tennessee walking horse has a natural 4-beat gait, and it provides a smoother ride than that of a horse that trots or paces. Every part of the horse is synchronized, and so it's an easy ride, and of course it's great to watch as well. And the smooth ride comes from the result of the overstride, and we'll try to point that out when the horses are in motion. And only the Tennessee walking horse does that. The diagonal opposed foot of the hind foot oversteps the front foot by up to 18 inches. And of course, that's one of the things that the judge is looking for. And here we go to Drew.
Getting ready to ride to the center of the ring now for the presentation, and that first place award is awaiting you. Entry number 518, Obsession, Jacqueline Smith, owner rider out of Shelbyville. And that's Obsession, Jacqueline Smith, riding to first in the class. Second award, you'll ride over, if you will, please, to get your award, and that's entry number 124 seconds. She's built tough. Ronnie Spears in the saddle tonight for Curve Incorporated of Bedford County. And that third award, third ride over, number 163, Ritz Faith, Kim Curtis. Tonight, riding for Franklin Beatty, Burgetown, Tennessee. That's Ritz Faith, 163, third in the class.
Going in a faster gait than what you see here. But you might see that the back foot is moving past where the front foot is.
Right.
And that's the overstride, and that's what makes the smooth gait. And here comes Jacqueline Smith on Obsession. And you can see there where her back foot is passing her front foot.
Kind of hard to see at that angle.
Right.
But that's talking about the Tennessee walking horse and the smooth gaits and everything. What they say is they trace the route back to when there was a need for smooth going, even tempered mounts for the southern plantations.
Yes, yes.
And so they crossed up the pacers like you were talking about. The best of the pacers, thoroughbreds, standardbreds, Morgans.
Right, these all
and they
came...
added the saddlebred for refinement.
Right, and you can see points, and certain breed line, different sires actually have different parts of those that some of the horses are more keen or smaller bone than others, and they have really become more keen as the year goes on, or as the years have gone on.
Okay, well, I think we're going to roll out of here just a minute. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with more action as this next class comes in.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by McGugan Oil Company, 114 Church Street in Allgood, distributors of Shell oil products in locations throughout the Upper Cumberland area. McGugan Oil Company, family owned since 1948, is proud to support WCTE Public Television.
Hi, I'm Heidi McWilliams, McWilliams Realty and Auction Company, Cookeville, Tennessee. We are proud to sponsor the Putnam County Fair on WCTE TV.
McWilliams Realty and Auction has been selling the Upper Cumberland for over 26 years. Through open market sales and at auction, McWilliams Realty and Auction sells your property at top market value. Concentrating on personal one-on-one service, you will find a professional and friendly associate helping you every step of the way.
Farm Credit Services at 1285 South Walnut Avenue in Cookeville, serving the Upper Cumberland. Call Kyle, Brandon, or Jason at 526-6136.
This is WCTE Cookeville, Upper Cumberland Public Television.
Okay, we're back here for our class number 5.
Okay, and this is a different type class than what we've seen before. It's the flat shod racking, meaning that they don't have any built-up pads on their feet, and they're doing a different gait than what we've seen with the walking horses. A lot of these are walking horses, but maybe they don't do that smooth gait that we're looking for with the overstride. And you'll notice that these horses, their back ends don't overstride like the walking horse classes necessarily do, and they don't shake their heads like the walking horses do.
No, actually, and like you said, a lot of these are walking horses. My horse actually is registered racking, but he's a walking horse bred.
Right.
But he likes to rack, and that's what he does well. And it's also, it's a smooth gait.
It is a smooth gait. And you see that one is overstriding a little more than and some of the others are. And in fact, he's trying to shake his head a little bit. So he's probably registered both racking
and he might
walking.
do both gaits.
Absolutely.
You know, I can remember a long time ago I had a horse that if you held the reins down, he would do one gait, and if you held them up, he changed.
Exactly.
So let's go through who we have in here.
Well, number 224 is Generators St. Patrick, so that's probably a generator-bred walking horse. Ed Henry is the rider and the trainer and the owner of Monterey, Tennessee.
Okay, we have 344 is Saint's First Son. Jason Todd is the rider and the owner from Bethpage, Tennessee.
102 is Rooster the Man. Brent Bowman is the rider and the trainer, and the owner is Triple B Stables of Monterey, Tennessee.
Number 77, Cut to the
Bone, I believe.
Cut to the Bone, thank you. Gary Bowman is the rider and trainer. Triple B Stables in Monterey are the owners.
Number 612, A Flash of Gin. Matthew Heater is the rider. Tim Barber is the trainer. And Tim and Candy Barber from Westmoreland are the owners.
Number 451, Choice Cut Blaze. Claudie Jenkins, is that correct?
I believe Claudie
is the rider and trainer, and also is the owner from Tompkinsville, Kentucky.
Right, she's come a long way. Number 751 is Peyton's Pale Shadow. Quentin Guffey is the rider and the trainer and the owner, and also of Monterey.
And you'll see him a lot tonight, I would say.
I would say so.
Number 460, Threats Pride. We're not sure who the rider is because it's blank, but it looks like Laddie Key is the trainer and the owner from Crawford, Tennessee.
Right.
So, and I really do enjoy watching these racking classes because these horses can fly.
That's true. Do we have a speed racking?
We do have a
class
speed
later?
racking.
Yes, we do.
And you all are in for a treat. I'm sure most of you have seen these classes before, class number 22. So you're going to have to stay with us for a long time this evening in order to see class number 22.
That's true.
And I promise you it will be worth it.
I tell you what, when those horses go around those corners and to lean just to keep their balance, and the horses lean too, it's exciting. And there we even have a spotted racking
That's a
horse.
pretty spotted, isn't it? Very pretty. See,
and that's something, you know, fairly new to the walking horse breed too, is spotted horses, and they've become very popular, especially more Middle Tennessee, Woodbury type area. There's a lot of spotted. I think
isn't that where they actually bred them so much?
Originated in Cannon County, I think was kind of the heart of that. And a lot of people, in fact, I think there's a big spotted horse show going on tonight as well. So I'm sure there probably would have had more here. And of course, the big War Trace horse show that's at the cradle of the walking horse industry is going on tonight too. So we have several things that are keeping maybe some of the other horses from being here tonight. But we're going to have a good horse show, and this class is always fun to watch. Okay, here we have several black horses, and this gentleman right here is always love to see him because he goes also in the speed racking as well.
Isn't that
I believe
yeah,
it is. Quentin Guffey.
Yes.
And in fact, several of these horses may be back in that class. I'm not sure.
I tell you something that I went to a few times in Decatur, Alabama, was the Racking Horse Celebration.
Yes.
And when you get into that caliber, and some horses that you see around here certainly weren't going to the celebration, the Racking Celebration, it absolutely, I mean, it just sends a rush through you when the speed horses are in there.
Well, in fact, one of the stables here in Cookeville had a world's champion racking horse. The folks that own the McDonald's franchise,
Thunderburks?
the Thunderburks. I had a
Actually, I've seen them down there. Yes, I have.
And so they bring a lot of professionalism to the rack horses.
You know, I haven't seen them. I don't know if they don't show anymore.
I don't know if they do because I haven't seen them in a few years either. So I don't know if they may be busy and just not be able to be here tonight. But it is fun. And another outlet for walking horses that maybe are not performance horses or are not suited maybe for a backyard horse, a racking horse. In fact, we sold 2 of our colts to racking horse people. And so that's another outlet for those.
Okay, Drew's going to be giving us the winners here in just a second. The lady's trying to hand him some names. Here we go to Drew.
Decision in this class. The Open Western Pleasure class is next, so be getting ready. Western Pleasure entries. Getting ready now to present the awards, and riders, you'll be riding into the center of the ring when your number is called to get your awards, and your first place award right across the ring, if you will, please. Entry number 77, Cut to the Bone, Gary Bowman, winning the blue and the trophy, riding for Triple B Stables out of Monterey. Cut to the Bone, and Gary Bowman gets the blue. Second award right across 344, Saints First Son. That's Jason Todd, Bethpage, Tennessee, the owner rider. Jason Todd, Saints First Son, second. Third award, the third place award goes to entry number 460, Threats Pride. Laddie Key Crawford is the owner rider. Laddie Key riding to third. That fourth award, fourth, goes to entry number 612, A Flash of Jan. That's Matthew Heater. He's riding for Tim and Candy Barber, Westmoreland, Tennessee. A Flash of Jan, 612 is fourth. And present the fifth place award to 102. It's Rooster the Man. Brent Bowman rides for Triple B Stables, Monterey. Rooster the Man, fifth in the class.
Hey, that was...
Okay, here we go. We're going to, class number 6 is our Open Western Pleasure. It's a quarter horse class, and I'm going to have someone different join me. I'm just tickled to death to have her here. Is it Gina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes.
I didn't know if I should say Gianna or Gina.
No, it's Gina.
Gina Leslie, thank you so much for joining me because you're the expert on the quarter horses.
Well, I hope so.
Well, I'm sure not. I can tell you that. I do know that first horse I ever had was a quarter horse, a paint. Well, he wasn't the first horse, I'm sorry, but I can remember the first time I actually had a gaited horse, and it was smooth, and I didn't know what I had. You know, I was like, wait a minute, this is not like that other horse.
No, they're very smooth.
So we are, class number 6 again is Open Western Pleasure, quarter horse. Oh gosh, we've got 2 pages. Let's count these and see how many entries we have in here. This is always a popular class, and certainly the local...
Looks like 13.
13, good deal. We'll tell you in just a minute who's going to be coming in. We have number 366, and again, this is not necessarily the order that they're coming in the ring, but 366 is O'Mara.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Terry Allen is the rider trainer and also the owner.
125, Montana, with Lolita Winter, and she is also the trainer owner.
And she's from Smithville, I think.
Yes.
Entry number 35, Classy Little Babe. Kim Dyer is the rider, and Kim Maxwell of Cookville is the owner.
Entry number 93 is D. Wayne Cobble is the rider, and Lisa Bajar?
We decided that's Bajar, I think, and we do apologize if we don't pronounce things correctly. We have entry number 90 is Jump for Justice. Lonnie Kewen is the rider, also the trainer. April someone is the owner. L. Hutz, maybe.
154, Red, ridden by Brooks Smith, and owned by Cliff.
Maybe Gore or something like that.
From Cookville.
Number 226, Aces and Assets. Mitch Leslie is the rider, the trainer, and, well, look at here. And so this is yours. And so
right.
who is Mitch?
That's my husband.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody remember 226 now.
That's
We're going
right.
to have to point him out.
114, Skip's Two-Eyed Dream. Renee Seeley is the owner rider from Cookville.
Oh, she's a terrific lady, Renee Seeley. She has a feed store. I'm pretty sure she does, out on Zeb Warren Road.
Yes.
Number 131, Kusa Mister. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Lori Puckett is the rider and trainer, and she's also the owner.
And then we have number 86, Allie. Also Lisa Bajar, trainer and owner.
Okay. Lisa owns several horses that are showing here tonight. 125, Zippo Barpassin something.
Can't
okay,
tell.
That's as far as I can go with it. The rider is Jonathan
Tad
or Tate, something like that, from Kentucky, Hestward, Kentucky. I'm sorry, I'm just having a hard time reading.
The handwriting is a little hard to tell too. Our next entry, 13, Miss R, looks like Rachel Hayes, owner trainer, and she's from Sparta.
Number 112, Impressive Domino. Laura Galloway is the rider. Tight Fit Stables from Baxter, trainer and owner. I like that name. Tight Fit Stables. That's good.
Hope she keeps you in the saddle.
So tell me what the quarter horses are going to be doing as far as the gates in here. Is it 3 gates, 2 gates, or
3 gates? They'll walk, jog, and lope, and you want to see them collected. And you want to see them look like they're comfortable and easy to ride, like a pleasure. So it's pleasure horse. And you also want to make sure that they're not too quick. You want them to be slow and quiet and mannerly as well.
And they certainly look like that now. You can see the camera. There's one that's kind of chewing on the bit right there, it looks like. But the other ones out here, I mean, they're just, well, every one of them, they're just as quiet as they can be. We were talking earlier about what all it takes to get the walking horses ready, not just to show, but to get them in shape and to teach them the gaits and all this stuff. And so true with the quarter horse. I mean, and the expense of you know, that beautiful saddle right there, and that saddle pad. I mean, that saddle pad could be $100, you know.
Oh yes, definitely. Yes, it takes a lot of work and a lot of preparation, and I'm sure all the riders here tonight have probably spent a lot of time working with their horses to prepare them for this evening's go. And just in the general training of the horses, it takes a lot of work to get them collected where they can actually lope slow and jog slow like you want them to perform in the arena.
So probably to get them to like a short lope or a jog or whatever, and explain what a jog is. That's just a slow version of the trot, is it not?
Yes, that's correct.
So you'd probably start off with letting them trot however they want to trot, and then you're just going to gradually start collecting them to where they will gradually learn to slow down.
That is correct. You just start off with the young horses letting them find their balance with the rider on their back. And then as the horse matures and learns to carry the rider, then you can start asking them to kind of gather up, lower their heads, get their hind ends up underneath them, that's probably the hardest part of it, is actually getting the horse to collect. And you want them to round in their back, so that allows those hind legs to come up underneath them as the driving force of all three gaits.
Now, when your husband comes up, would you please point him out? Since it's hard to see the numbers sometimes, depending on which camera is on the horses.
That would
is
be
that
my
him
husband.
right there?
That is him.
Okay, there's your horse right there. Well, now he looks like a real cowboy with his long mustache and everything.
Well, he tries, and he also, as well as riding pleasure horses, he also rides reining horses, and he ropes, too.
Ah, what about you?
I mostly actually ride English horses. I ride hunt seat, and I jump.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do a little bit of everything at our facility.
Are you all from here?
We're right in Cookville.
Very good. Well, now I'm just going to tell you about the English saddle. I would rather ride bareback. I mean, they are the flattest, slickest saddles. and I guess it's because I didn't grow up learning how to do it properly. And I'm very uncomfortable. Now, is this a jog that's going on now? Or?
Yes, they would be jogging. And you can see that the horses should give their faces. In other words, when the rider asks them to collect up, the horse should lower his head and give his face, and should stay balanced, and he should track nicely up underneath himself with his back end.
Looks like she's got her eye on the judge, doesn't she?
She looked like she's having to do a little work with her horse.
Trying to slow him down maybe or something?
So you try not to get caught when you're doing that. Because, again, the horse should really maintain the gaits, ideally, by himself. So, if the rider's having to do a lot, that would be a fault. And, of course, if you notice, too, like some of the younger horses are going to have snaffle bits, and like this rider here is riding the horse with two hands. So
That's what I was going to ask you about that. What's the difference here? Is either allowed or what?
With young horses that haven't learned to neck rein completely, you want to have the snaffle bit on them so that you can ride with two hands and have a little more control over the horse, because they're not quite as far along in their training, and that generally denotes a young horse when you see him with the snaffle bit.
And it's okay. I mean, it's okay to ride with two hands in these classes, or if you want to ride with one hand in the class like this.
Right.
Like some of them.
Now, if you have the curb bit in your horse's mouth, like you see this horse on the rail right now, she has a curb bit in the horse's mouth, so she would have to ride that horse with one hand. Once you go in, too, you can't change.
And the curb bit is, explain the curb bit.
The curb bit is a bit with a shank. In other words, if you'll notice, the bit hangs lower in the horse, or the bit comes down, and you see the end of the rein. Yes, the end of the rein is attached to that bit. If you'll notice on the snaffle bits, the reins are more directly on the horse's mouth, because the bit sits directly in the mouth, and you actually have a little more pressure on the sides of the mouth, whereas with the curb bit, with the shanks, you actually put some more pressure on the bars of the horse's mouth. So you have a little more leverage with that bit, and it's a little more advanced bit. So the older horses have that in their mouth.
There's a beautiful Palomino right there.
Yeah. She looks like she's gone to a lot of work getting him clean and prepared.
We were talking earlier about the champagne that was in that class.
It's beautiful.
You don't see, hardly ever. I've probably seen less than half a dozen champagnes ever. And I think a lot of them maybe are on the West Coast. It seems like a lot of them come here from California. I don't know if they're easy to breed. I know that breeding for color is difficult no matter what breed it is. And so I'm guessing that champagne is not that easy to get,
I would think not. It was a beautiful color, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It gleamed. But there's some beautiful horses in here, too.
There certainly are.
Okay, let me ask you something about the head. You do see headsets all over the place. You see the ones that have them real low. You see them ones that I call leveled, which just go straight out from the saddle horn.
Right.
And then like this one, he's got his head up. Is there any preference, or do they put the whole package together and that's just something that they might, let's say if the horse, if his head is a little high, that might be okay because he's doing his gait so well.
Yes, and that would be correct. You can have, their head doesn't have to be super low. In fact, with the quarter horses now, they're actually trying to discourage where they had their heads so low, and trying to get them actually more level. The horse should carry really, he should look like where he's carrying his head is comfortable for the horse. And again, they should look relaxed, and as you see this Palomino horse, he looks nice and relaxed and comfortable, but not too low. And generally speaking, when you see their heads come up extremely, it's usually going to be because the rider's either having to make a correction or they're getting irritated or maybe a little nervous or excited about the situation that they're in.
I see. Well, I'm glad to hear you say that they are now discouraging what I always heard or called them the peanut rollers.
Yes.
Is that what they were called?
Yes.
And I never understood why they wanted the nose down next to the ground. I just never understood that. To me, natural.
Right. That kind of goes back to the relaxation of the horse. When he carries his head low, generally speaking, he's, you know, if you look at the ones that are a little lower, they're going to look a little more relaxed. And it just became an extreme somewhere along the line.
Like so many other things.
Yep. Yeah. So it's nice to see that the industry is trying to correct things that they've done that aren't beneficial.
Great. Very good to hear. Let me ask you about you notice with the quarter horses, I don't think any of them have the long manes that I've seen. I do, is that a quarter horse thing that they, I don't know, do you pull quarter horse manes?
Yes.
Or do you cut them with scissors, or what do you do?
Well, if you want to do it in a hurry, you can cut them with scissors. You want to try to avoid the real blunt look. So they actually make little tools that you can use that kind of, or you can use clipper blades that kind of give it a more natural look like a pulled mane would have. But yeah, they like the short, neat,
now there's a lot, that's the longest
mane.
one I've seen there.
Now in your reining horses, roping horses, cow horses, those kind of horses generally have long manes. So in the Western, you'll have a little bit of both.
Oh, that's interesting.
And just the pleasure horses have the short manes, and of course our hunters have the short manes too.
Do they also like for the horses to be on the rail, like as in the other classes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, you know, each of those things it's taken individually. You know, so you don't have to be on the rail like to win a class. But again, you're showing the level of control of your horse, that your horse is
he can handle
cooperating.
The crowd. Yeah, really. Okay, so we've got the package. Let's say that the judges are looking at. They're looking, of course, at the gait.
Right. You want to look for a fluid gait. A gait. It looks like the horse. It's easy. It should look like it's easy for the horse to do. He shouldn't look like he's having to struggle to maintain that gait.
The short lopes just absolutely amaze me how slow they can get some of them to go. And even in the jog, they get some to go so slow that it's like they can hardly even pick up their legs.
So again, you get some exaggeration sometimes with the gaits. But it should be, and this is kind of where, like I said, the industry is going. They've also started a thing with the lope that they ask for a slight increase of forward motion when they lope the horses, because they were getting them so collected and so slow that it was becoming unnatural looking. So they've changed that a little bit as well.
Well, that's great. Yeah, that's really good, because a lot of times like with anything, when they start going in one direction, you know, it seems like they just keep going to the extreme.
Right.
And that's just wonderful to hear that they recognize that they've gone too far or whatever. Are there a lot of events where you can go to reining around here? I hear a lot about roping and that type thing, especially with the youngsters. So many youngsters here are involved in roping, but I don't hear anything about reining. Do you have to go to the big time somewhere to do the reining events?
No, there's now in East Tennessee. I'm not as familiar with Middle Tennessee, but in East Tennessee they have a Tennessee Reining Horse Association now, and they're doing some shows in Harriman, Tennessee, which isn't too far from here, just for reining events. And then of course at the registered quarter horse shows, they always offer the reining classes at those shows. So there are opportunities. Not quite, I don't think quite as many as there are for the ropers. And I know they have a junior rodeo here in Cookeville that helps promote with the youth, which is great. So I don't know that they have anything like that for the Rainers, but there are opportunities for both youth and adults and amateurs that want to do that with either through the Quarter Horse Association or through the Reining Horse Association.
Well, what about your hunter jumper? I mean, that's got to be difficult for you to find places.
Yeah, we usually have to go to Nashville or Murfreesboro. They have a lot of hunter jumper shows there. And of course, the quarter horses also offer the hunters, which makes it nice for my husband and myself to go to the registered quarter horse shows. And I can do the hunters in the morning, and he can do the pleasure horses and reiners in the afternoon. Yeah.
It is, I know it's you and your husband. Do you have children? Is it like a family affair, or is it?
We don't have any children. We have horses and dogs.
I understand that.
We have a lot of other people's children who come and ride with us and go to the horse shows with us, and we have a good time with that.
Oh, that's great. Well, these are just awesome looking horses. They're beautiful.
They are. You can tell a lot of hard work went into this class. And it's interesting, too, to see the more young youth out there competing with the older trainers, the older professionals.
And they can win just as easily. Absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of them work hard, and a lot of them might have somebody else helping them work hard, you know, and then they get on the show or something. But it's one thing that we were talking earlier about, the horses, how it can be a family affair. It's such a great thing. I think for young people to learn the responsibility of a horse is terrific. I didn't grow up with horses or anything. I was telling Martha, I just got my passion later on for whatever reason. And when it does get in your blood, I mean, good luck. You're going to have a horse forever. I mean, that's just...
And it can be costly, but I think the investment for the youth is so... The benefits you get from it are so great.
Now, are they going to ask them to back up or anything?
They might ask them to back up. And in the quarter horse shows, it's actually a requirement of the class that they back at some point. At open shows, I think they're a little more liberal with what they can do and not do. So... And it looks like the judge is going to make a little trip down through there to maybe make some comments to the riders, which is always nice.
I always liked it. Looks like they are asking them to back up. I like to see that. I just do. I know in some of the walk-in classes they do that also. I didn't really notice it this evening that they were.
That's just another test again of the horse's responsiveness to the rider and his level of cooperation with the rider, and that's what you're looking for. You know, you don't want to see the horse throw his head up. You want to see him again give his face and back readily when he's asked to.
Whoa, one backed up pretty far there.
As long as they don't back up over the judge, you're all right.
I can remember the first time that I'm trying to think, it was the first time it was the first time I ever won a class. I have a walking horse, a registered racking, so I used to show racking in East Tennessee some, and so it was, my horse did really well. I was the only one that was doing a show walk, and I think that was a part of why I won. So it's very important for people to understand the gaits that they should do. Everybody in there was doing just a flat, what I call a deadhead walk, and I was doing a show walk, which is more collected, you know, and so I won. And I was doing my victory pass. And I mean, man, was I excited. This was my first victory pass. So I'm going down and in front of the, like, it'd be taking the victory pass all the way down through here. And the whole crowd started laughing. Laughing. Now I'm looking around at my apparel and everything and wondering what's going on. And about that time, a cat passed us going 90 miles an hour and ran around my horse and ran in front of us and went out the way we were going. It was hilarious, but I was very concerned when they started laughing at my victory pass.
You were afraid something was amiss there.
That was pretty good.
I can remember my first show. I was so nervous. I was so nervous and scared. That seems like such a long, well, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you can kind of play on those emotions when you're helping your students ride, and because you can remember back to your first show, and that can be helpful for them to know that, you know, everybody feels that way sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to tell everybody, too, of course, you know, this is being brought to you by WCTV TV. It's your local public television station. Wait just a second here. I think we're going to turn it over to Drew.
Be getting ready.
That we could change our voice in order not to sound like we are pretty sure that we sound. In other words, Upper Cumberland-like. You know?
Yes.
And we decided no, because that's us. And we just
That's right.
We can't lower our voice. We can't sound whatever, but anyway, we do so much local programming for the Upper Cumberland area, and this is just a good indication of the hours that our crew puts in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know it's so appreciated. Let's see, keep trying to hear if he's ready or not.
Yes, I actually watched this last year on TV.
Okay, here we go, first place.
Waiting, if you'll ride over to the 10, entry number 125, Montana. That's Lolita Winner riding. Lolita Winner also is the owner out of Smithville, Tennessee, Montana, first in the class. Lolita Winner riding in on Montana, please. Center ring. Lolita Winner, Smithville, Tennessee, first in the class. That second award, second, goes to you. Entry number 131. 131 is Coosa Mr. Lori Puckett, owner rider, Cookville. Third place award to 114, Skips Two-Eyed Dream, Renee Seeley, the owner rider out of Cookville. Skips Two-Eyed Dream, 114 is third. That fourth award goes to number 93, D, with Wayne Cobble riding for Lisa Bejar. Fifth place award, you're going to ride across, if you will, to accept your award. Fifth to 86, Allie and Lisa Bejar. Let's give all of these riders now a big courtesy round of applause and thank them for coming out tonight and showing in the Open Western Pleasure class. Thank you, riders.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by McGugan Oil Company, 114 Church Street in Allgood, distributors of Shell Oil products in locations throughout the Upper Cumberland area. McGugan Oil Company, family owned since 1948, is proud to support WCTV Public Television.
Hi, I'm Heidi McWilliams, McWilliams Realty and Auction Company, Cookville, Tennessee. We are proud to sponsor the Putnam County Fair on WCTV TV.
McWilliams Realty and Auction has been selling the Upper Cumberland for over 26 years. Through open market sales and at auction, McWilliams Realty and Auction sells your property at top market value. Concentrating on personal one-on-one service, you will find a professional and friendly associate helping you every step of the way.
Farm Credit Services at 1285 South Walnut Avenue in Cookville, serving the Upper Cumberland. Call Kyle, Brandon, or Jason at 526-6136.
Okay, we just got through the open Western pleasure class, quarter horse class. Gina Leslie was with me, and she'll be back for class 10. She was just a wealth of information. I'm so glad that I didn't have to wing that by myself. She was terrific.
Well, she should. She knows a lot about, has been in the horse business for a long, long time.
And she said she rode Hunter Jumpers.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Right. Next up, though, we have the 4-year-old walking, and it's an amateur specialty, which, of course, designates a specialty means that it's only a 2-gate class. As I started to say, that the walking horses normally have or can have in the show ring 3 gates: the flat walk, which is the slowest, the running walk, and the canter. And if a class is designated as a specialty class, that means they do not canter.
Okay.
Or lope, as the quarter horses call it. So these will be amateurs, the ones that ride for the love of the sport, don't get paid, do a lot of paying instead. But, you know, as I say, it's for the love of the sport. And they are 4 years old. And it doesn't say mare gelding or whatever, so any types. Now, here we come in on, let's see, who's in this class.
Okay, let's see who's in the class here. Number 153, Caught You Looking. Eric Swafford is a rider and trainer. He's also the owner.
Alrighty, we have number, well, I believe
164,
it's 164 or 154, Sky of Gold. Donald Robinson is the rider. Joey Claiborne of Birdstown is the trainer. And David Robinson of Cookville is the owner.
165, Midnight Dollar. Abby Fox is the rider. Joey Claiborne, trainer. And I'm not sure about the owner.
I think it's the Quentin Fox family of Cookville is the owner there. Then we have number 166, Impressive. No, wow. Well, I'm not sure,
I don't think
Suzanne,
there's
what it is.
But we can tell you that Jim and Heidi McWilliams own it.
And Joey Claiborne is the trainer, right? And Heidi is showing. I saw her come in.
Okay.
Yes, there she is on screen right
there
now,
we
as
go.
a matter of fact.
Yeah. 104, we have JFK's top aide. Sally Riley is the rider. Trainer Gary Martin. Dick and Sally Riley of Lewisburg, Tennessee are the owners.
All right, and there's Donald Robinson of Cookville. Both he and Heidi both have been on the walking horse show circuit all summer long.
Now, is this one of those pusher horses we were talking about, or would you guess? Would you not guess that it was?
It could be, yes, because of the way it's all marked up. We at the Upper Cumberland Walking Horse Association have a 13 designated shows, and for all these shows, there's Abby Fox on her horse, her 4-year-old. We have 13 shows, and a lot of these people go to all these locations. The Livingston last week, next week it'll be Crossville, and they show in the same classes, and they accumulate points. And then at the end of the show season, we have, we tabulate all those points, and the one, of course, that has the highest amount of points wins the high point trophy for that particular class. And we do have one for a 4-year-old amateur. So these people are all vying for that high point trophy. And then right before Christmas, we have an awards banquet. And again, this is the Upper Cumberland Walking Horse Association. And all members that are eligible for the High Point Awards. So it's always fun because usually it's a secret, you know, who's going to win.
Yeah.
Although you kind of do keep up with your own points just to make sure, you know. But we have that awards banquet and give out the trophies, and that's always an exciting time. So we see the same people, you know, it becomes an extended family. And we're competitive with each other, but we also enjoy each other's company. And so these horses have probably come up against each other at several shows over this summer season. Well, there's Abby, and she's adjusting the horse and her riding habit and getting all ready. And of course, we had you start off on a flat walk, which I said is the slower of the gates, obviously.
Sometimes they start off so fast to me in the flat walk. I don't know where they can go from there.
That's true, and normally you'll see them be a little slower the first way of the ring as they come in, but when they reverse like they've done here, they sometimes go faster the second way of the ring. Put a little more into it, so to speak.
Here's Heidi.
Yeah.
Beautiful horse. Now that would you call that a sorrel or a chestnut?
I would.
People absolutely. Some people say sorrel is chestnut. Some say chestnut sorrel.
Well, the way
I always think a little red is sorrel.
Exactly,
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I do as well. And some people just say chestnut sorrel, so you get it all covered.
There you go.
That way.
Hey, that's pretty smart.
And I
I
think
don't
we
think
can
that
agree
fast.
that's black.
There you go. We can do that. And if everyone enjoys coverage like this, like I said earlier, WCTE, we work really hard to bring local coverage. You know, we cover the Smithville Jamboree and different events here at the fair and so forth. And would like for you to consider becoming a member. If you did, you would get a Member's Choice Guide for just $30 a year. You would know when everything was going to run. Now, I know people that will just go through our Member's Choice, and which is a guide to the schedule for the month. You get that every month. And they just sit there and they mark the things. When the horse show, they want to see that and so forth. And really like for you to let us know what things that you do appreciate in WCTE, what things you would like for us to cover, and maybe things that aren't important to you.
Well, there's a lot of people that would love to come to the horse show or other events at the fair, but for one reason or another, maybe they're elderly or infirmed or other reasons, they can't be here. This is a wonderful way of bringing the Putnam County Fair to the populace. So we're so pleased that the television, I think I was fair secretary way back in 80, 81 or sometime another when the WCTE started coming to the fair, and it's been a wonderful way to publicize the fair and all the things that go on. You all do such a great job of bringing so many different things. There's our lineup. We have lots of sorrels in this.
Yeah, we do. We actually cover, and you probably don't know this, a 14-county area. It's where we go out, and we're even on in Murfreesboro.
Well, I was going to say, I saw you all. I was in the International Horse Show this past week for 4 days, and I was flipping channels when the few minutes we were at the hotel, and there was WCTE, and I thought, oh boy,
it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I didn't realize it went out that far.
Yes.
I'll have to say, I like Heidi's hat.
Well, Heidi just always looks like, she's got it all together,
Right.
She's done this before, by the way.
Well, that's what she was. I saw her last night at the Belfast Horse Show, and we sat together, and I told her that I was getting some information together and everything to be with you tonight, and she said, oh, I did that. And she said it was lots of fun, but, it's hard work. I didn't realize you just really have to sit up here, and you have to think a lot of things going on and look at the monitors and the horse show, but it's fun.
Wait just a minute. How hard is it for you and I to talk about horses?
Well, it's not like it's not the first time that we've done this. That's true, but not in front of an audience. My goodness.
Well, but we're just sitting here talking to each other. We don't pay attention to. We don't think there's anybody out there listening, right? We'll just act like there's not. I think there probably is.
Well, I hope so. Because I want everyone to see what we're so proud of. And I believe here we go.
7 is tied, and we announce that decision. And to make the awards, you'll ride to the center of the ring to get your award. First, the blue ribbon and the trophy to 165, Midnight Dollar and Abby Fox aboard for the Quentin Fox family, Cookville. Midnight Dollar with Abby Fox riding to first. Now your second award, belongs to you, 166, Heidi McWilliams riding Wild and Woolly. The entry on by Jim and Heidi McWilliams, McWilliams Realty, Cookville, Wild and Woolly, second. Third award, right across 104. That's JFK's top 8, and Sally Riley is the rider. For Dick and Sally Riley, Lewisburg, JFK's top 8 is third. That fourth award belongs to you, 164, Sky of Gold, and Donald Robinson, the owner rider. Sky of Gold, 164, fourth. And the fifth award to you, 153, Caught You Looking. Eric Swafford is the owner rider. Eric's out of Pikeville, Tennessee. Winning entry gets a final pass down the ring. That's 165 Midnight Dollar. Abby Fox is the rider. The owner's the Quentin Fox family, Cookville. Midnight Dollar, 165 with Abby Fox riding to the blue.
And I would definitely call it a black horse.
I would.
We're not going to guess about that.
You know, and it's hard being out there by yourself. There was a class or two last night that just had one horse in the class, and that's,
oh my goodness,
that's so difficult to try to be out there by yourself, and it's not something you wish to happen.
I had a
Even
friend,
though you're going to get a blue ribbon, you know that, but it's still.
I had a friend in East Tennessee that used to tell me that the victory pass could embarrass you quicker than anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, now here's usually one of the largest classes in the show, and that's the Country Pleasure.
Oh,
This is a light shod class, and I don't know how many is in this class, but I know there's 2 sheets full here. So we'll look forward to seeing this. Here again, this is usually with our Upper Cumberland Walking Horse Association. This is one of the hotly contested high point awards because so many people do show in this class, and from week to week the winner might not be the same, so it's always fun at the end of the year to find out who's going to win the high point on the Country Pleasure. 16 entries.
While I'm looking here at the things that are going to be going on in the fair the rest of this week, so everybody needs to think about coming down. On Wednesday, they're going to have the Wild Western Mule Show in the main arena. Now, y'all have to come down for that. It starts at 7 p.m. Everybody really enjoys this class. I was trying to see if I had a class sheet here. They'll have everything from the coon jump, which you all might have heard me talk about last year. I had a mule in the coon jump last year that won, actually, and they'll have that again. They have a pantyhose race.
I didn't know that.
Well, not a lot. Yes, I'm not known for my mules, am I?
No.
And I mean, as a matter of fact, the first 3 times out, for her doing the coon jump, she won all 3.
Really?
Yes, she did. So
she
likes
has a
to
natural
jump.
talent for that, doesn't she?
It's my understanding that mules actually do have a natural talent, but
I
some
think they do. Yeah.
They want to more than others. We also on Thursday will have the County Horse Show, and earlier in the day the Putnam County Hunter Jumper Riders. Maybe Gina, who was here earlier, maybe she'll be in that one. Friday we'll have the Demolition Derby in the main arena. Saturday, motorcycle races, and Sunday that's it, the removal of the exhibits. So you all be sure to come down for the remainder of the fair. I mean, let's hope the weather is as nice as it is tonight. My goodness.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. We better start reading because there are so many. How many did we decide?
Well, I think they said 16, I believe. And you'll notice in here that we have a combination of English riding attire and also Western. In Country Pleasure, you can dress either way.
Okay, number 247 is Pride's Dark Fury. Todd Mackey is the rider, and he's also the owner of Cookville.
And 450 is Silver's Lucky Strike. Rachel Hayes is the rider from Hillham, Tennessee.
And 199, Fashions Sunny
Attraction.
Sunny Attraction, thank you. Rebecca Jackson is the rider. Jenny Jackson is the trainer, and I can't see who the owner is.
Well, I happen to know it's Dr. Tom and Martha Willis of Cookville, Tennessee.
You are kidding.
Well, let's don't talk about it. Let's move on.
Okay, well, wait just a minute, everybody. That was 199. We'll be watching for 199 then. Okay, let's go on. Is this 112 or is this 91?
Well, I don't know.
91,
91 maybe.
Braveheart.
It's the gray horse out there. I know that.
Sarah Cliff. is the rider. We have Lonnie Kewen, the trainer, and Hope High from Florida. Yeah, is the owner. Great. That's
Right.
terrific.
199 is Hard Feelings. Nicole Phillips is the rider and the trainer, and Rellyn Phillips, her grandfather, is the owner.
101 is Big Time Delight. Ricky Butcher is the rider, and I'm guessing he looks like he's the trainer and the owner from Lafayette, Tennessee.
Number 96, Ebony's Andy Mack. Travis Clark is the rider, and the Sherrill family of Baxter are the owners.
Number 97, Max Ragdoll. Jimmy Sherrill is the rider, and Sherrill family from Baxter are the owners.
Number 27, ET's Magnolia Wine. Kayla Gilpatrick is the rider. Haley Weishart is the trainer, and they're from Cookville.
183, Delight's Satin Sun. Andrea Fleetwood is the rider and trainer, and Sean Larson is the owner.
Right. Okay. Then we have number 99, or 98 rather, Dawn's Midnight Sun. Brenda Turnage is the rider for D&R Stables of Sparta.
Well, now we all know Brenda Turnage here.
Right. She's been with you several times. Joanne and Gina Brooks from Shelbyville, Tennessee are the owners.
We have number 69, Big Daddy. John Robbins is a rider and trainer. And can you tell me who the owner
And
is?
I think the Robbins family also own from Livingston, Tennessee. Ruby Who, number 107, is ridden by Jeanette Kuzlik and from Naples, Florida.
Wow, that is a long ways, isn't it? Number 97, Delight's
Walkabout. Jack McCormick.
Jack McCormick, okay.
Is the rider. Joey Claiborne is the trainer, and Jack McCormick is the owner, also from Livingston.
Okay, 121, Junior's Pride of Threat. Kayla Bilbrey is the rider, and Lisa Bilbrey from Cookville is the owner.
And we have 147, Beautiful Pushover. Ariel Chaffin is the rider and the trainer, and Larco Medical is the owner of Cookville.
Okay, now, gosh.
Okay, there's Braveheart, the beautiful gray horse there, and then you have a spotted saddle horse on camera now.
Now, what would be the difference in this class and the earlier flat shod class that we saw like this?
Well,
I can't remember the name of that class.
The light shod class that you saw earlier, there was a little more animation.
Okay.
These are really the backyard type horses that you see out on the trail. And of course, they're still doing the same sort of gait, or they're supposed to be doing the same sort of gait, in that they're a 4-beat gait, and they shake their head every time that they take a step. And there again, if they're not shaking their heads, they're not really doing the true walking horse gait. And this type of class, you'll see a lot of different ways of going. And as I say, the different dresses too. It seems that the Western dress has gotten to be very popular this last year or two.
Let me ask you this. I know you said the gray horse out here is your horse.
No, the gray horse is not my horse. But
which color is your horse?
My horse is black.
Black, okay. One of those black horses. I was going to say.
Here she is, the little black horse right here.
With the red
with the girl with the red on.
Oh, look, shaking that head.
She's only 2 years old.
Well.
We're just very proud of her. We owned her grandmother, and she passed away last year at the age of 30.
Wow,
and,
30.
At 30, that's right. And so this is our little baby, and we're just very, very pleased with her. And whether she wins, loses, or draws, we still think she's wonderful.
Oh, sure. Yeah. She is
wonderful. Look at this horse right here with his ears flopping. A lot of times they they're really relaxed when you see that
I
sort
always
of thing.
like that.
And I just think that's just a grand thing, that they're having a good time too.
Yeah. Because so many of the horses
here another
are
gray.
like tense.
There you see the two styles of horses, in that you have a Western horse and And also right behind in another red jacket is an English riding habit. All righty. They're lining up. And is this been the largest class so far?
Let's see, that was your horse in the red, right? What was the number of your horse?
I don't even know.
I was trying to...
Let's see, she's 199.
191.
99.
99. 199.
But as I said, she's 2 years old, so, you know, we're very pleased with what's been done with her this year, and next year we know that she'll hopefully even be better. But it's hard for a 2-year-old to compete with some of these aged horses. And, you know, some of these may have been ridden for, well, they may be 10, 12 years old and have been shown for all that time. And if you put together all the ages of this group of horses, you're probably going to come up with a large number, because these horses can just be shown for years and years and years. We were talking about the age of the competitors. Well, also the age of the horses. There's a lot of horses that show way into their teens. And, you know, you've heard of abuse of horses. And certainly there has been some of that in the past, but we hope that is no longer the case as it was. And a lot of the walking horses are being shown into their teens and even to their 20s. So they're taken good care of. Did you see them back up?
Yeah, I was glad to see that. We were talking about that earlier, how some classes do and some don't.
Right. Well, the pleasure classes, in walking horses, the pleasure classes have to all back up. That's one of the criteria. And there again, it's to show the versatility of the horse. And if you were out on a trail or whatever, you know, if you needed to get out of a certain situation, you could back your horse. It's not a natural gait for a horse to back up. It's something they have to learn to do, have to be trained to do. I think that's kind of interesting that that's not a natural thing. Now,
yeah, I would think it would be.
Yeah, you would. But apparently that's what I've been told, you know, anyway.
I was going to mention, too, I don't know how many people know that Tennessee is now number 2 in the nation in the number of equine. We used to be number 3. In 2004 survey, we went up behind Texas, and number 1, and we are number 2 in the nation.
Was California number 2 before, and now they're number 3, I guess.
Correct.
Well, I didn't know.
That, and of course, equine means horses, donkeys, and mules. And it's just, to me, that's so exciting to know that this is in our beautiful state.
Well, it really is, and you drive up and down all the back roads, and you see in the pastures, and you can see there's a lot of horses out there, because people love them. They love you, and you love them. So whether you show them or just have them as a backyard hobby, it is a wonderful thing to get into. Now, these are light shod, meaning that they do have a smaller shoe on than the heavier shod. The park pleasure horses that we'll be seeing in class 21 have a heavier shoe on them.
I was going to say, if anybody's interested in the survey that was done, they need to go online and go to www.picktnproducts.org, and I'm telling you, it goes all the way down to the number of equine, how much money we spend.
I don't want to know that.
No, not us, not just us.
Oh, okay.
And Wayne Neighbors is joining us right behind us, trying to get us to crack up or do something, and we just know that he must have something to say. We just don't know what it is.
I just,
Let's see what, if Wayne Neighbors has anything to say about this great horse show.
Is that on?
I guess we're going to find out by a
really?
nod. That might be trouble if it's on and it's in.
Trouble if it's on or it's off?
I think it
well, is. I just, yeah, I'm of course been over here, playing and just seeing this fangle-dangle new screen over here and thinking, woohoo, we've just, we just eased up a notch or two. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, WCTV rocks now. We're on our way.
I'll tell you what,
Things are good.
they have taken things to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. Well, this is kind of a first for you to sit at this spot and kind of co-host, you know, with...
Actually, Becky was late last year.
Yeah.
So I had to sit here for 2 hours.
But now, you have with you tonight a lady who just knows all kinds of stuff about walking horses and has shown so much. So I know these folks at home are enjoying you guys tonight talking about walking horses and this sort of thing, you know?
Well, it's like we were saying earlier. It might, just the thought that, you're on camera or whatever might be a little nerve-wracking to start with. But if you ever start talking about horses, I'm telling you, you just can't shut us up.
I'm telling you.
And that's how most of us are. Well,
this is a pretty neat year for me. This is, I've told different folks, and they were so sweet to me back at the spring show, that this is 25 years for me playing.
Oh my goodness! You started when you were 10?
I started when I was 10, Martha. You knew me back when you was there.
I was
God
11.
love your little heart. You were 11. I knew we grew up together in the ring, but I just didn't realize how. You know what I'm saying? 25 years, and it is so neat. My 25th year playing for walking horse shows. I have been so blessed. I've got to go a lot of places and play a lot of shows, and but there's nothing like playing your home show. I'm telling you, this was a childhood dream of mine. Seriously, when you say childhood, we're talking about 11. I used to come to the show and watch Colonel Jones play the organ.
Oh yes.
And Colonel died just a few months ago, bless his heart. But he was such an encouragement to me. Wrote down a song sheet, that would go with this class and that class.
He was so good.
And,
no wonder you.
I'm telling
so
you,
well.
I have been so blessed. And I was said, man, someday I would love to do that. And here I am, 25 years later. And it's pretty neat,
And you don't look a year older.
I don't. I turned.
I don't guess.
I turned to 50 in June. Hit the 50, and but that's. I know I don't look it and don't feel it and certainly don't act it. All right.
You got it that last one now. You
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Are we going to?
All right. I'll come back and yak at you again.
You're welcome. Horse class, class 20. The winner of that class will receive the Tommy Trisdell Memorial Trophy, and that is class number 20. Let me clarify another item on the program. We announced that there will be a brief break after class 10, and there's a class 10 and a 10A, which may cause some confusion. The break will be after the youth Western Pleasure class, class 10. Then 10A will be ready to come to the ring. That'll be the open spotted horses. You'll be ready right after the break to come to the ring. So right after the class 10, the youth Western Pleasure class, there'll be just a slight break. And then when we resume, we'll go to class 10A, the open spotted horse class.
From Florida before here in Cookeville, and that's great to have a little extra competition come
Sure
up.
is. I'd like to invite everybody to come down to our WCTE booth in the North Grandstand. We have some people down there that would like your opinion on some things, and we have some great decorations, and you'll learn who's going to be at our Stations of Imagination. Actually, I might just tell you here in a minute. It's Bert and Ernie will be at Stations of Imagination. Isn't that great?
That's fun, yes.
That'll be on September 10th. Of course, that's affiliated with Fall Fun Fest on the square. A great event for children. So really, really would like to invite everyone to bring their children and grandchildren on September the 10th to Cookeville Square. It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thousands of children come down and get to do all of the free things. And here we go. We're going to turn it to Drew.
And your first place award. First place goes to entry number 199. That's Rebecca Jackson. Rebecca Jackson riding Fashion Sunny Attraction. Riding for Dr. Tom and Martha Willis, Cookeville. 199A. All right. Your second place award, second place goes to Nicole Phillips riding Hard Feelings. 199B Nicole Phillips on Hard Feelings riding for Rellin Phillips, Cookville. Now your third place award, third place goes to number 97A. That's Jack McCormick riding Delight's Walkabout. Entry on by Jack McCormick Livingston. Jack McCormick rides 97A, Delight's Walkabout to third. Fourth award right across number 98, Dawn's Midnight Sun. Brenda Turnage riding. Entry on by Joanne and Gina Brooks, Shelbyville, Tennessee. And the fifth award to 247, that's Todd Mackey, Cookville on a rider on Pride's Dark Fury. 247 is fifth in the class.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by McGugan Oil Company, 114 Church Street in Allgood. Distributors of Shell Oil products in locations throughout the Upper Cumberland area. McGugan Oil Company, family-owned since 1948, is proud to support WCTE Public Television.
Hi, I'm Heidi McWilliams, McWilliams Realty and Auction Company, Cookville, Tennessee. We are proud to sponsor the Putnam County Fair on WCTE TV.
McWilliams Realty and Auction has been selling the Upper Cumberland for over 26 years. Through open market sales and at auction, McWilliams Realty and Auction sells your property at top market value. Concentrating on personal one-on-one service, you will find a professional and friendly associate helping you every step of the way.
Farm Credit Services at 1285 South Walnut Avenue in Cookville, serving the Upper Cumberland. Call Kyle, Brandon, or Jason at 526-6136.
This is WCTE Cookville, Upper Cumberland Public Television.
That was the Country Pleasure class, and I'll have to say I'm very excited because that was our little 2-year-old that just won. Suzanne has taken a break, and joining me is my husband, Dr. Tom Willis, and of course he's a longtime walking horse enthusiast as well. We're watching the Amateur Show Pleasure Specialty class, class number 9, and in that class we have number 116, A Splash of Papa. Beth Tays is the rider and also the trainer and the owner of Monterey, Tennessee. Number 42 is Delight Silver Dollar. Becky, and I can't read that last name, is the rider. Chuck Witherspoon is the trainer from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Number 159 is Sundust Endless Dream. Michelle Hastings is the rider. Harvey Rodriguez from Shelbyville is the trainer. And Hastings and Rodriguez from Shelbyville are the owners. We have number 199, E.T.'s Resurrection. Beck Oakley is the rider. Joey Claiborne, the trainer. And Paul Oakley of Lebanon, Tennessee is the owner. Number 181, Rolling in Dough. Haley Tipton, the rider. Jerry Highsmith is the trainer. And Gary, Rutledge family of Seymour, Tennessee, are the owners. 161, we have Magic Spring. Ricky Troba is the rider and also the owner of Salina, Tennessee. And number 73, Sky Watches True Value. Dusty Mahan is the rider and the trainer, and Sylvia Trisdale of Baxter, Tennessee is the owner.
Really good class of horses.
It is a good class.
Very, very competitive.
Now, what's the difference? Tell the audience the difference in these horses versus the performance horses that we've seen in the past.
Well, first of all, they don't have braced tails.
What's a braced tail?
When their tails are cut and set up over their backs,
well, what holds them up?
A brace.
A brace, and
yes.
And that's a metal piece covered.
It's a metal piece covered in rubber that.
And it
supports
holds their tails up and,
yes.
and so kind of up over their back somewhat. And that's attached to the saddle, to the girth to make it hold up. But these horses don't have that?
No, they do not. They do not.
And these are more or less the ultimate in a pleasure horse. They're called, they're in a whole division by themselves called the Show and Park Pleasure Division.
Exactly, exactly.
And you'll see they're doing the more really performance type
Well,
gates.
they have action devices, and they still have the built-up shoes.
Now, what's an action device?
Well, in this case, it's a chain.
Okay.
That weighs less than 6 ounces.
6 ounces.
Yes.
So it's comparable to like a watch chain on my wrist here.
Exactly, exactly.
If you consider how much the horse weighs versus how much
an action device weighs.
Right, exactly. There's Beth Tays. Let's see, I don't recognize who that one is. You see they're doing a fluid type motion.
Yes, they are.
They're not quite as...
They're supposed to anyway.
Right. As we say, they're not quite as square going. They have more of an ongoing type motion. Well, that class was over, it seemed like, in a hurry.
It was.
I guess I was talking too much. But a good class of horses. In fact, this division has become very popular, and in a lot of horse shows, this is one of the largest classes.
Right.
Is that right?
That's correct.
There again, you see that they're all riding in English riding attire. And, you know, we were talking about the riders and how much we enjoy the showing, but, you know, the families are all here, and I'm sure the families of these riders are in the audience, and they're cheering them on, and it is just a...
It is a family sport. It really is.
We talked earlier again about how the generations could come together to enjoy this sport.
Well, it truly does bring them together because it's difficult for one person to show a horse like this without some support.
So what time did they start getting these horses ready? At 2 o'clock this afternoon?
Most probably they started at 6 o'clock this morning.
Right. And that might be after they went to a show last night as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Some of the multi-night horse shows, you might get home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and have to be back up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Get them all ready over again. That's correct.
Well, it looks like our ringmaster is bringing the cards over to Drew Huffines to tell us who won the class. We're so glad that he can be with us.
James, yes.
Right, James Lawson.
Yes.
And he has shown and ridden pleasure horses for many, many years.
Well, he rode one that was a world's champion for how many years?
Well, now, which one was that?
Heaping Spoonful.
Well, of course.
Was his horse.
A well-known light shod pleasure contender,
horse,
and
yes.
Back a few years ago, there wasn't. If Heaping Spoonful came in the show ring, everyone else nearly just needed to go home because he was just an outstanding And
Light
he
shot
was
horse, he
right,
really
and he
was.
was born and raised and trained by James, wasn't he, before he was sold?
Absolutely, yes. I think he and Vic Gurnt owned his mama together.
And then Vessel Jaquish had
The daddy.
the daddy.
Right.
And what was his name?
Mackay's XLT.
Right, and he sired a lot of pleasure horses that are
Yes.
still showing today.
Absolutely. Very natural horses.
You know, my daddy always said that I never saw an ugly horse, and I'm looking at this particular shot. I see all those beautiful tails, and, you know, that takes a long time.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, and here we go to
represented
Drew.
there.
Entry number 199, E.T.'s Resurrection. Beck Oakley rides for Paul Oakley, Lebanon, Tennessee. Beck Oakley riding to first in the class. Second award, you'll ride into the ring, please. Entry number 159 is second, Sundust Endless Dream. Michelle Hastings rides. This entry of Sundust Endless Dream, owned by Hastings and Rodriguez, Shelbyville, Tennessee. Third award goes to 116, A Splash of Papa. Beth Tays is the rider and owner from Monterey. Fourth award, fourth goes to 42. That's Delight Silver Dollar.
This was an added class, so it may be that several people didn't realize we were having the class, and so that's why we only have one. But that's number 40, Billy Bob's Domino. The rider is J.L. King from Lafayette, Tennessee, and he's also the owner and the trainer. Now you see these horses do a little different gait as well. They may have heavier shoes than the walking horses use flat shod type shoes.
Because you can tell that because of the way they're picking them up so much.
Right, and they have a different way of going. I'm sure the audience can see it's not a racky exactly gait, but it is a different type of walk than what the normal walking horses do. And they also have different tack in that they use a Western type saddle, but they may use an English type bridle. So it's kind of a combination of different gear there.
That's a beautiful horse. Look at the headset.
I know.
Nice and pretty and high.
That looks like that would be a fun ride, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Wouldn't wear you out at all. As long as you keep your hat on.
Yeah.
I noticed in the Western Pleasure class a few minutes ago, there were several that lost their hats and during the lope. So I think in some shows that disqualifies you, maybe in some of the versatility shows where you're running the barrels or poles or whatever. If you lose your hats, you know, that's a disqualification.
That's interesting.
And that may be wrong. Who knows?
I think this horse, too, has a glass eye, which means that it has a blue eye on the white side there. I think. I'm not sure. Sometimes they do. A glass eye actually means a blue eye. And then some horses might have two glass eyes. They might just have one. But when I got a little shot of him a minute ago, I thought maybe he did.
The one on the white side,
yeah,
you think?
Maybe.
Could very well be.
Which is always a really unusual look. He's a beautiful horse.
He is. You saw the judge walking by the horse and looking at the horse, and he's just inspecting him to make sure
there we go.
There he is.
See the blue?
Right. You had a good eye for that eye. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's just beautiful. Well, let's see who's going to get first place.
I don't know. I like his name, Billy Bob's Domino.
Yes, and there is a Domino that is a well-known sire, I believe.
I believe so.
With the spotted horses.
Now, he came a goodly ways to be here tonight, so we want to thank him for that. And maybe next year, this class will be even larger.
So let's see, coming up next, we have the Youth 17 and Under Walking Specialty.
Right, and that's not the age of the horse, you know.
There you go.
That's age of the rider. And they can ride right up until, if they're only 17 at the beginning of the year, they can ride that entire year. So if their birthday's like mine, the 3rd of January, you could still ride that entire year.
Oh, okay. Okay. And he's taking his victory pass. It is such a beautiful evening out here tonight. I said that earlier. It's just, we've got a nice cool breeze going. Everybody needs to be sure and visit the fair. There's so many more events going on the rest of the week. And again, have the County Horse Show on Thursday, the Wild Western Mule Show on Wednesday.
And when is that on Wednesday?
I believe it's at 7 o'clock in the main arena.
Oh, it's going to be here in the main arena.
Oh, it is here. Yeah,
oh,
it
good.
is. Here we go. It's at 7 p.m. Everything from Western Pleasure, Western Pleasure mules, musical chairs, rescue race, saddle mule class, sack race, mule race, powder puff race. I mean, really a lot of fun events.
That sounds like fun.
And you never know what these mules are going to do, so it's always fun to watch them. I think that's why they call it the Wild West.
Is it true that mules are really smarter than horses?
You know, I know they say that, and I will tell you, I mean, I have a mule, and you show her something twice, and she's got it.
Well, you know, horses founder, they eat too much, and they founder, and they say mules won't do that.
And that's what I've heard that too.
And they won't walk off a cliff like a horse would do either. So I think they're used a lot out west on some of the trail rides and going down the Grand Canyon and so on, because they're so sure-footed.
Do you know that all of the mules that are supplied to the Grand Canyon are from Tennessee?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, the Reese brothers supply all of the mules.
Specialty, and of course the specialty, as we said, means that they do not canter.
We have 9 in this class.
9, and who are they?
Number 58, the Magic Dream Walker. Dustin Green is the rider. J.B. Buchanan is the trainer, and the Green family from Cookville are the owners.
Number 144, Rebels Gold Treat. Rachel,
I think it's Threat.
Threat?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Rachel Huddleston is the rider. The trainer's Randall Phillips. And for the owner, Harold Jackson.
And number 200 is Irrational. Haley
Wiseheart.
Wiseheart, okay, is the rider. I can't tell. Joey Claiborne is the trainer, and Bob York family are the owners.
Right. Number 38 is Command's Lucky Touch. Nicole Criswell is the rider. Joey Claiborne is the trainer. Boy, he's busy tonight, isn't he? And that's for Nicole Criswell of Cookville.
And the next one too, the 197. This is the
one.
This is the one. Lauren Davidson is the rider, and again, Joey Claiborne is the trainer. Lauren Davidson is the owner.
Number 444 is the Gambler's Gold. Kelly Sotis is the rider. Bean Stables of Cookville trains for Kelsey, who is also the owner.
Number 43. Let's see. Papa's Chatter Box. Jordan
Kidd, I believe it is.
Kidd, K-I-D-D, okay. Kidd is the rider. Chuck Witherspoon is the trainer. Jordan Kidd is the owner.
And number 126 is Here Comes Double Trouble. Sarah Rowland is the rider. Ben
Ramirez?
Yes, is the trainer, and Sarah is also the owner of Winchester, Tennessee.
And the last one is 338, Wings of Silver. Rachel Shea is the rider. Jenny Highsmith is the trainer, and the Jim Shea family from Knoxville are the owners.
So we have people from all over Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee in this class. And so these young people may have started riding at age 5 or 6 and showing. I think later on we probably do have, well, let's see. Yes, we do have 11 and under. And these riders, there is Wiseheart riding. Haley.
You know, I like to see the finished outfits. I don't know if it's a requirement to have the hats, but I really like to see the ladies with hats on.
Well, it's not, but over the last few years, hats have become very popular, and most everyone now does include a hat in their outfit.
I bet that's Wings of Silver. What do you bet?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Looks like that's a comfortable ride. The rider looks real relaxed.
And you know, the Putnam County Fair is a very exciting place to be. And especially for some of these horses that are used to more of a quiet atmosphere, to come to the fair horse show is kind of exciting for them as well as for the riders. In fact, we say if we can show at the Putnam County Fair with everything going on, we can show anywhere. So these young people are doing a good job of keeping their horses focused and right on the rail there, the fence.
I always thought it was really something for a horse to be able to stay on the rail with all of the people. I mean, they're standing right there on the rail, and then to come around here in front of us where you got the speakers going on and the announcer, it takes quite a horse to do that.
Well, it really does, and sometimes the speakers blaring right in their ears does bother them, and that's where the rider comes in and tries to focus the horse so that he remembers what he's in there for.
That's beautiful.
And there we go.
Beautiful. Now,
She's
who is
really
that?
moving right on, isn't she? I can't recognize her. These young people grow up so fast.
Look at that head shake. Wow.
I believe that was the young man that carried the flag earlier.
Oh,
in
it
the
is. Okay. Do you think that was the same horse?
No, I believe it was.
Remember.
The Magic Dreamwalker. Yes, I believe that was the same horse.
They've got some really nice horses in here. It doesn't matter the age of these horses or anything. It's just the rider has to be 17 and under.
That's right. And you know, in the amateur classes and in the juvenile classes, the youth classes, you sometimes see some of the best horses in the show because you know we're the ones that are paying the bills, and we want our children and ourselves to ride the good horses. So it's not always the trainers that ride the very best ones. A lot of good amateur and juvenile horses are out there. And I'm saying juvenile, that's what it was called back when I was at that age. Now they've changed it to youth.
Oh, okay. I know just one time I sat on a padded horse and rode it down the hallway of a barn, and I'm telling you, on a slick saddle, and with them, as you can see, they're taller in the front. It was not easy to stay on.
See the band that goes around there,
like
from the
chest?
saddle, and that kind of keeps the saddle from slipping back because sometimes it will actually do that.
I'm not talking about saddle. I'm talking about me.
Oh, you. Well, now we have the English saddles have high backs. For a while, we went through a period where they were almost flat, but now they have what we call deep seat saddles, so you sit in them, and a lot of them have some sort of leather suede in the seats, and then you can also buy Jodhpurs pants that have suede in the seat there. So that's another way to kind of keep you deep in the saddle and keep you from sliding around so much. Isn't that a pretty horse? Look at his ears up there. He knows what he's in there for. And you know, these horses do know that they're show horses, and
they turn it on.
They do.
Proud, don't they?
They do. You know, you see dog shows, and you're always hearing the commentators talk about that the dogs know where they are, and they really turn it on for the show. I think the horses are the same way. Isn't it great to see our young people out there? These are all teenagers that could be out on the street doing heaven knows what. But they're here with their families in most cases, enjoying a sport that is such a family-oriented something that we can all enjoy.
There's a lot going down on the midway. I just
Is there?
I just took a little break and came back, and I want you to know I even found a peanut butter milkshake down there.
I saw that. I've been eyeing it ever since you got back. I haven't been offered a taste or anything, but I have. Not that I need it.
But well, it's a little different down the midway too. I noticed there are There are eating places going all the way down, and they've got tables.
Oh, do they?
All the way down the midway.
I haven't even been down there.
You know, used to it was always just up front where you would sit around where you were eating, but they've got tables sitting out.
Oh, well, that's nice because
Yeah,
a lot of times you couldn't find a seat around there. Did you see any onions, any fried onions down there anywhere?
I didn't look for any.
Oh, my. I think the first fried onion I ever had was here at the Putnam County Fair.
Was it like a blooming onion?
It was like a blooming onion, and oh, I thought that was so good, and of course I still do. All right, how many do we have in here? 2, 4, 6, 7. Good.
So everybody needs to be sure that they come down.
Okay, and here we go with Drew.
Place award, and that little winner is Haley Weishart, riding 200 Irrational. This entry owned by the Bob York family, Cookville. And Haley Weishart rides to the blue. Second place award in the class goes to number 38, Command's Lucky Touch, Nicole Criswell, the owner rider, Cookville. Third place goes to number 58, the Magic Dreamwalker, Dustin Green rides. The Magic Dreamwalker owned by the Green family, Cookville. The 58 is third. Fourth award to 126. That Here Comes Double Trouble. Sarah Rowland, owner rider out of Winchester. Fifth place to 444, the Gamblers Gold, and Kelsey Sodas is the owner rider from Cookville. The Gamblers Gold out of Bean Stables, Cookville. 444, fifth in the class.
Did a great job. And hopefully we're going to get to see Haley come around on Irrational. You may have heard that name before. That horse was previously owned by Heidi McWilliams and shown by her very successfully for several years. And then the Bob York family